Welcome to Live Daf, your online Daf Yomi Shir.
Shalom Aleichem, welcome back to today's Daf Yomi, which is CHAGGIGA Daf Tesvav. We are holding 6 lines from the top of the Amud. And once again, we're engaged in the topic of Ma'aseh Merkava, which only very few individuals, very few lucky individuals were privileged to engage in this topic. Tana Rabbana, we learned in the Bryce. Ma'aseh Rabbi Yehuda ben Chananya, she'yomed al gav ma'alo b'harabayis. Rabbi Yehuda was once standing on this step on the Harabayis. V'ra'u ben Zayma was passing by, and he noticed Rabbi Yehuda, but Omed b'lfanav, he didn't get up. He was sitting, and he didn't get up in honor of Rabbi Yehuda. Amar Lois, Rabbi Yehuda turns to him. He must be deep in contemplation. What are you thinking about? Me'ayin. Where are you coming from? Where are you going to? Ben Zayma. What are you thinking about? Amar Lois says, good question. I'll tell you what it was. Ma'aseh Merkava. So if you see, I was contemplating. I had this vision. I was focusing on the heavenly spheres. Bein mayim hol yoinim, l'mayim atachtoinim, the space, the gap between the upper waters and the lower waters. And tell you what, there's not much gap. Ve'ein bein zelazeh l'sholosh etzbois b'lvad. There's no more than space for three finger widths between the two waters. Shenemar, as the pasuk says, v'ruach elikim mirachefes al pnei hamayim. So the upper waters, representative of Hashem's ruach, hovers above the lower waters, right above it. Ki yoina shemirachefes al baneh, like a dove that hovers over her offspring. Ve'eino negas behen, and she's not really touching, just hovering with a small gap. Here as well, there's just a slight gap between the upper and lower realms. Amalahan Rabbi Yehuda Talmidim. So Rabbi Yehuda turns to his Talmidim. After all that, he still doesn't get it all the way. Adayin ben Zayim b'chuz, ben Zayim is still out of it. He didn't really reach the true understanding, grasp the true reality of what's going on. Why? He had a kasha. Michti. Take a look at the psukim that you mentioned. The pasuk which says v'ruach lekim merachefes al pnei hamayim. When is that? Eimas havi b'yom harishon, on day 1 of Bria So'ilam. That's still before the fact, before we have the two waters. Havdalah, this splitting of the waters, occurs only the next day. B'yom sheni udavoy. Tichsev, as the pasuk says, v'hi mavdil b'mayim l'mayim. So this pasuk cannot be applied, cannot be the true description of what's going on with the waters. So what's the truth? V'kamas, how much space in between the two waters? Amar v'achabar Yaakov, kimloi nima. Just a little hair's breadth. V'rabban amri ki guda de gamla, like this small space between the planks lying side by side, the planks of the bridge over the river. Mazutra v'tema Rasi Amar ketrei glimi, like space between two garments, the prisi adadi lying on each other. Ramila some say ketrei kasi, the schifi adadi, like two cups lying on each other, overturned on each other, and just a little slight gap between them. Pretty much the waters are connected. Yesterday we had a story of Arba'a, 4 Talmidei Chachamim who went up to the Pardes. They had this vision of the higher realms, of the higher spheres, and Acher was Kitzetz ben Netiyos. He chopped away the Netiyos, and Rashi learns he was mekalkal, he destroyed, he misapplied what he saw. Why do we use the lashon Netiyos, like young trees? Because we describe the entire experience as pardes, like an orchard, so we use this lashon as well. It doesn't mean literally trees and saplings. It means to say that the information, the vision that he saw, he misinterpreted and misapplied. Olav HaKosav Omer, on him the pasuk says, Al titin es picha, lachtis b'sarecha. Don't allow the words, don't allow your expressions to be machti, to bring your basar, to bring chet to your basar. Be careful with your expressions. Maihi, what exactly happened here? When he went up to Shamayim, he saw as follows. Chaza mitatron. He saw this malach mitatron. He saw that he was given the authority to sit down, lemichtav zechvasa di Yisrael, to sit down and record the merits, the good deeds of Klal Yisrael. When Acher saw a malach sitting, he started asking questions. Omar, he says, Gemira, we have a Kabbalah, the lamala, upstairs by the malachim, there's no sitting. That's exclusive to Hashem, to the Shekhinah, but a malach doesn't sit, he's coming to and fro. Sitting denotes established and permanence and domain. There's no sitting there. V'lo tachros, there's no competition between the malachim. V'lo orev, there's no backs of their necks, meaning everything is just face and expressed. There's nothing hidden. Everything's open and clear. V'lo ipui, there's no fatigue. Why is the malach sitting? Shem achas v'shalom beis Rishuyah is saying maybe there are two powers running the world. Hashem and this power sitting over there. So he misapplied what he saw, he misinterpreted, and it brought him to stray off the path, lose his proper perspective of Emunah. Abkul mitatrin. Now, because mitatrin brought this about, because he was sitting there, and as a result of that, Acher got the wrong impression, so they punished him. They took him out, umachyu, and they hit him with shitin, 60 pulsi denura, 60 fiery clubs, fiery lashes. From Taisus, it seems like the point wasn't to punish him, but Taisus says, Lohidia she'en yichilis nematatron yosim rachuni, was simply just to display the truth that he doesn't have more power than anybody else, so they hit him in a way that sort of shows that he's not all powerful, to dispel this notion. Amrile, so they asked Matatron, my time, come to me, when you saw Acher, why don't you get up? So he doesn't misinterpret what's going on. In any case, Acher strayed off the path, and he did a chet. So Matatron was now given the permission to delete his Acher's zechusim. Yotza Baskel va'amra. Baskel calls out and says, Shuvu banim shevavim. All my children who strayed, come back. I ask you to come back. Do teshuvah. Chutz mi Acher, except for Acher. He's far gone. He can't come back anymore. Omar, so Acher says, okay, they don't want me. Let me enjoy this world. The whole point is, you're going to sacrifice ilm hazeh for ilm haba. Well, if I'm not going to have ilm haba, may as well make the best of my life down here on earth. Omar, he says, Hoyel v'itrit ha'u gavra. Oh, Alma, once this fellow himself has been banished from a portion of ilm haba, leifuk, let him go out, lisanid, let him enjoy, by Alma in this world, nafak, acher l'tabris ra. So he went off the derech, he strayed off the path of Yiddishkeit. Tabris means behavior. He was engaged in objectionable behavior. Nafak, he went out, ashkach zoyna, tava, he went and solicited an immoral woman. Amalei, she turns to him, you? V'lav Elisha ben Avuyat, aren't you the famous Tana? Do you imagine he was a Tana? Elisha ben Avuyat. What are you doing here? So what did he do? Akar pugla mimeshra b'Shabbos. It was on Shabbos, and he pulled out a radish, mimeshra, from the row there. And he gives it to her. Oh, Amra, she says, Acher, he must be somebody else. Tana wouldn't be doing this. That's how we got the name Acher. Sho'al Acher es Rameir. Acher asks his Talmud. Rameir was his Talmud. After Acher left the path, he turned to Rameir. Amalei, he tells him, how do you explain the pasuk? He asked Rameir. Famous pasuk in Mishlei. Hashem created opposites, sequels. Everything is done in pairs. So how do you apply this? Amalei, Sir Rameir responds. We find that everything, every concept that was created by Hashem in this world, bara connected. He created something to balance it. Bara harim, bara gvois, tall mountains and short hills. Bara yamim, bara naharis, large seas, small rivers. Amalei Sur Acher tells him, Rabbi Kiva Rabbach, your other Rabbi Kiva, like Amar, he didn't interpret the pasuk this way. Ella, rather as follows. Listen to this. And this related to him himself. When we say Hashem created a balance, Hashem created sequels and opposites and pairs, bara tzaddik and bara rishayim. He created neshamas that are intended to be tzaddik, in contrast to neshamas that are meant to be rishayim. Bara gan eden, bara gehanim. Hashem created a system of sequels, tzaddikim, rishayim, and I'm meant to be a rasha. Of course, that was wrong, because although he might have a point that some people, you see, they're inclined to doing good, they're pure neshamas, they love to daven, love to learn. And others find it very difficult just to open the Gemara, sit down for 2 minutes, just say a word with kavana. It's true. But everybody can achieve greatness, everybody in their own way. If it's difficult, that means that's your challenge, that's your tafkid. But you can achieve greatness just as the tzaddik. Everybody has the same potential. In fact, listen to this. Acher himself said this. Bara Gan Eden, Bara Gehenim, he created both areas, Gan Eden, Kol Echad Ve'echad. Every individual, whether tzaddik or rasha, Yeshli Beis Chalakim. He has both portions, both potentials. Echad Began Eden, Echad Begehenim. One there and one there. Zachat tzaddik. Now the tzaddik who was zeicha to accomplish what Hashem expected of him, he achieved greatness. He gets double pay. He gets his chelik and the chelik that the rasha gave up, right? Because everything has to be distributed. So initially Hashem allots a portion per person, but if you give up your lot, it goes to the tzaddik. Zachat tzaddik, not al chelke v'chelik chaveru b'ganed. He takes his portion, and the portion that was meant for the rasha, he gets it all. And the chayev rasha, the rasha was not zeicha. Not al chelke v'chelik chaveru b'ganim. So he gets double gehenim. He gets his own and the chelik that was meant for the tzaddik. Everything has to go to somebody. Everything has to be distributed. Amar of Mesharshi, Micro, what do we find that you get double portions? By tzaddikim ksiv, by tzaddik it says lachem ba'artzam mishneh yerosha. They get double. By Rishayim ksiv, u mishneh shivra and shivram. They get double again. Shal acher Rameir. Very sad story. Acher tells Rameir. After Acher left the path, what does the pasuk mean when it says "Layarcheno zav v'schuchis"? With Tmurasa clay pots, you can't compare all these treasures to Torah, gold, glass. Nothing compares to Torah. The question is, once you say that gold doesn't compare, then of course glass. Why do you have to mention glass? Amar loy. So Rameir tells him, "I'll tell you what's going on." Elu divrei Torah. It's referring to Torah. Shekoshin leknoisen keklei zav, uklei pas. Very difficult to acquire Torah, like gold, like treasures. But don't think that once you have it, after all that effort, you finally have it, you internalize it, it's yours forever. It's not guaranteed. You have to hold on to it. If you don't pay attention, it could just slip away and break like glass. Take a vacation from Torah, you lose it. Torah can easily be lost and broken like glass that just slips out of your hand. So Rameir responded to Acher. This is the pshat in the pasuk. So Acher responds to him. Rabbi Kiva Rabbach. Once again, Rabbi Kiva, your Rabbi loikach amar loyamar kach. This is not how he learned the pasuk. Ella, rather he says like this. What's the equation? Why are we comparing it to gold and to glass as well? Ella ma klei zav klei schuchis. Just like these vessels, afal bisha nishbru, yesh lam takan. Even when they break, you can go repair it. Even glass can be melted down and redone. Av tamad chacham, same with the tamad chacham. Afal bisha sorach. Even if he strays from the proper path. Yesh le takana, he can be rectified. There's hope for him. This is Acher speaking. Amalei Rameir tells him, okay, apply it to yourself. It's not too late. Where are you? Come back. Af ata chazar b'cha. Come back. Omar Leis Acher tells him, for me it's too late. So sad. Kvar shamatim achur pargad. I heard a message coming from behind the mechitza that separates the shchina from the malachim. Meaning, I heard from the shchina. Shuva banim shevav chutz me'achar. Everybody can come back except for Acher. That's it. I'm gone. Interesting. The Maharsha says. Everybody asks this kasha. Well, okay, so then what's the tain on him? What's the claim against Acher? He got a straight message from Hashem, don't come back. Says the Maharsha, he should have said, Aval Bikain, I still want to come back. He could have forced his way back. That was his Nukudas HaBechira. He should have chose to come back in any case. And he didn't. So he took it personally. He felt like, I'm a failure, I'm gone. Hashem abandoned me, chas v'shalom, which was of course not true. It was just another sign along the path he should have overcome and come back. The person has to be genuine with himself. Of course, there's always room for criticism and self-doubt and introspection and musar, right? But not to the point of taking it personally and feeling like a failure. I heard from Rav Balak, he's a Rosh Kollel in Toronto here. So the first Rosh that he held when he was appointed Rosh HaKollel in the Kollel, he says, throughout many years of experience dealing with seeing Kollel in the light and people in various positions, he says, you know what the biggest cause of failure is? It's the biggest cause of failure. When people think, I'm a failure, I can't do it. They have the ability, they have the koiches, but they fail to execute. They take it personally. They encounter a difficulty. They're faced with a challenge. It's not going as well as they expect. They don't see success. They take it personally. Rather than just looking at it as, okay, it's just another bump on the road. It's just a challenge, it's a hurdle to overcome. So that's the biggest reason, number one, cause of failure. Self-doubt. Not believing in oneself. A person has to believe in himself. I'm able to. I was given the koiches. If I'm alive, that means Hashem has something in mind for me. Let me go for it. I was once walking through Rabbi Yisrael Belsky Shita, talking about Cheshbon HaNefesh and Musar. So I asked him, we're supposed to question ourselves. We're supposed to be honest, right? We're supposed to be honest with ourselves. And a person sometimes could feel like a failure. One could hurt himself by thinking too much about his misdeeds, about his averos. So is it something you're meant to engage in or not? You're meant to criticize yourself or not? So he says like this, of course, constructive criticism is okay, but not destructive criticism, in which case you take it personally. I'm a failure. I'm a nothing. So I says to him, how do you tell the difference? Where do you draw the line? So he says, that takes experience. It takes a lot of experience to know, okay, Musar up until this point. I miss Shachris, bad boy, okay, I'll redo it tomorrow, I have to fix it. But not to the point like, I'm no good. I'm a failure. That's already gone a bit too far. That falls into the realm of destructive criticism, and that's not meant to be. Not meant to be. So yeah, the actions, the ma'asim, but not the person. He took it personally. He got a message, don't come back. He took it personally. I don't belong there. I'm bad. I'm far gone. That was the mistake that he made. Tanu Rabbanon. Here comes another story, very sad story with Acher. Ma'asa ba'acher sheyireichav al asus b'Shabbos. Acher was riding a horse on Shabbos. V'hoyer Rab Meir malach achrav. Ulma teirem epiv. Rab Meir didn't give up on him. He was walking. Rab Meir was walking by foot behind him to listen to his Torah. Amrlei. So Acher turns to his Talmud Meir. Chazor lacharecha, go back. Why? Shekvar shi'arti b'ikvei susi. I've calculated based on the steps that my horse was taking. We've reached the Tchum Shabbos. Ad kan Tchum Shabbos. Go back. You can't keep on going with me. Amalei Meir turns to him. Well, you come back too. Af ata chazor b'cha. Amalei, he tells him, I already told you. I already explained to you. Why not? V'lekvar amarti lecha. Kvar shematim acharei apargud shuvu banim shevavim chutz mi achar. That's it. They don't want me. Takvei. Meir forced him. Ailu be midrasha. Took him to the Beis Medrash. Amar leili nukas. Acher turns to this child. P'sakli p'sucha. Tell me what you just learned. We find throughout the Gemara, even Amoraim used to do that. And they used to use it take it as a message from Shemayim. The Gemara in Bava Basra says, nowadays Nevuah was taken away from the Nevi'im and given to the Shaitim and Tinoikis. So a child sometimes has an ability to pass on a message from Shemayim. Let me hear what you have to say. Amar the child responds with the following pasuk. Ein shalom, amar Hashem l'rishoyim. Rishoyim have no peace. He took it as a very powerful personal message. I don't belong here. So Reb didn't give up. He took him to the next Beis HaKnesses. There again, Amrli Nuka, he turns to the child. P'sakli p'sucha. Tell me what you learned. Amrli, he tells him another pasuk which didn't sound so good to him. Ki'im tichbasi b'neser v'tar b'lech b'yris nichtam aboy nichlafanai. Even if you use all these cleansing agents, your chet, your oven is nichtam, like a kesem, becomes embedded like a stain, you're gone. Okay, failed attempt. Number 2, he took him to the next Beis Medrash. Once again, turns to the child. He tells him another pretty sad sounding pasuk. V'ad shadud matasi ki silbishi shoni ki sadi adizov ki sikri apuch inayich la shavtis yafe v'goymer. Even if you adorn yourself, you put on makeup and all kinds of jewelry, it's for naught. It's not going to change you. You're still who you are. Okay, it didn't work this time. Takes him to the next place on Midrash. Ad the Eilid Leisa b'nei Knishta took him to 13 Batei Knisiyos. Some learn that 13 is Gematria Echad, which is really where Acha strayed concerning his impression of Hashem's oneness. Kulu Paskale Ki Agavnan, all 13 Batei Knesses, he encountered the same experience. They told him psukim which didn't sound too good to him. Labasra, the final shul, Amalei Psukli Psucha, to the final child, he says, okay, let me hear what you have to say. Amalei V'lo Rosh Amalekim. Malachal Asapr Chuka Yugaymer. Now, Hahu Yanuka, this child, have a megamgim belishne. He had a little slur in his expression. And he was trying to say, V'lo Rosh Amar Alekim, and it sounded like, Ishtama, Kamada Amalei V'lo Lisha Amar Alekim. As though he was addressing directly. Instead of V'lo Rosh, he said, V'lo Lisha Amar Alekim. This time it was too much for him. He got so upset. Ikad Amri, some say Sakina Havabiyad, he had a knife. Vikare, and he tore apart. Some say he tore apart the scroll that the child was using. Vishadre lekleisa b'nei Knishta, he sent it out to 13 shuls to show them, look, this is the message I'm getting from Hashem. Vikad Amri, some say Omar, he said, Yahavabiyad the Sakina, I had a knife in my hands. Hava Karanale, I would have tore apart the sefer. Okay, so he remained off the derech, and he died in that state. So it happens to be that Tosfos brings a Yerushalmi here, that when Acher was unwell, he was visited by his Talmud Reb Meir, and once again he insisted. He tried to get him to do tshuva, and Elisha started crying, and he passed away. And Reb Meir said, Doime shemetoich teshuva nifta. It appears to me that he left the world in a state of teshuva. Says the Mokinach, Nafshi the Acher, when Acher passed away and he came to Shemaim, Amri, so on Shemaim they were faced with a dilemma. What are we going to do with his neshama? Loi meidan li daina, we can't just put him into Gehenna, because he's saturated with so much Torah, he's a Tana. V'loi la'amad da'asi leisi, and he can't be brought to Ilm Haba, to Gan Eden, because of his state of affairs. Loi meidan li daina, we can't give him the din of Gehenna, Mishum da'asik by rise, because of his Torah that protects, it's a Metzias that protects. On the other hand, v'loi la'amad da'asi leisi, can't be brought to Gan Eden because of his chatayim. Amar Rav Meir decided the halach. He says, look, mutav de lidaine v'leis lamad asi. It's beneficial. It's better for him that he goes through Gehenna so that he can ultimately be zeichet to Gan Eden. I prefer that route. That's he sent in a brief to the court. Please follow that formula. Masai amas, and I'm waiting for when I will die. Ve'ela osham mekiver. I'm going to bring him into Gehenna and generate fire out of his grave. So Rameir himself wanted to bring him to Gehenna. In fact, when Rameir passed away, he accomplished his feat. Solik kutra mikivrei, fire, a smoke, would rise from Acher's caver, mikivre the Acher. Apparently Rameir was successful. Amar Rabbi Yechon, to which Rabbi Yechon responded as follows: Gevurta lemikla Rabbi, is it a feat? Is it a greatness? Is it an accomplishment to burn one's Rebbe? He burnt up his Rebbe. That's a big deal. Chad hava beinana. We had one Chacham, one Talmud between us, meaning Acher. None of us can save him. None of us can save him from Gehenna. You know what? Inakte biyad. If I would have grabbed him with my hand, man mar mi man, who would take him away from me? Amar, therefore Rabbi Yechon said, I'm going to get him to Gan Eden. Mosai Amos. When will I pass away? I'm going to extinguish the fire and the smoke from his cave. I'm going to bring him into Gan Eden. In fact, Rabbi Yechon passed away. No more smoke coming out of Acher's cave. He accomplished his feat. The Saftan, this eulogizer, started speaking about Rabbi Yehuda. Look how powerful he was. Even the guard standing in front of Gan Eden could not oppose Rabbi Yehuda. Continues the Gemara. Acher's daughter was poor. She approached Rebbe, who was a Gabbai Tzedakah. She tells him, Rebbe Parnaseini, provide me with sustenance. He tells him, Bas Miya, tell me, who's your father? She tells him, Bita Shel Acherani. Tell you the truth, Acher is my father. He tells her, Adayin Yesh Mizari B'Olam. He has any descendants? The pasuk says, Loinin Loi, V'Loi Nechad B'Amei, V'Ein Srid B'Megurav. Russia is not meant to have an everlasting memory. She tells him, Zachar the Tarasa, remember his Torah. Focus on that. Valtiskar Masav. Don't focus on his bad deeds. Miyad Yorda Eish. Immediately a fire descends from Shamayim. V'sichsach ha-savsali shel Rebbe, and chars, slightly burns the safsal, the bench upon which Rebbe was sitting. This was a hint, a message from Shamayim. Don't start with Achas Torah. Bachav Amar Rebbe broke down and started crying. U'malam is ganin b'kach. Look, even those who misapply the Torah, they degrade the Torah. Kach. They still have a schus of Torah. Look how powerful the Torah is. Torah still protects them and advocates for them. Those who use the Torah in a positive way. Of course, Torah is so powerful. Asks the Gemara. Let's go back to Rabbi Meir, who was Achar's Talmud, and continued learning from him even after he strayed. Rabbi Meir, how did Rabbi Meir learn from his Rabbi Achar after he strayed? He meant to be careful from whom you learn. He meant to learn Torah from who? From a malach. Well, how do you learn from a malach? It means that the Rebbe has to display appropriate behavior. So the malach and the Rav are synonymous. The Rav compares to a malach. He's internally consistent. He lives what he speaks. He meant to learn from him. But otherwise, he teaches one thing, but he does something else. You're not meant to learn from him. You're going to be influenced by him. So how could Rabbi Meir do otherwise? The answer is like this. Rabbi Meir kra ashkach v'dorish. He found another pasuk which supported his mahalach. Pasuk says, "Hat oznecha ushma divrei chachamim." Listen to the chachamim's words. Ve'libcha, in your heart, toshes ladati, applied to my knowledge. Hashem is speaking. So learn from these individuals and pay attention to my das, which means separate the content from the person. Ladatim le'nemer. It doesn't say heed their das. Ladati, heed my knowledge, meaning take the information from chachamim who perhaps are not internally consistent. Take just the content, extract their content, and then turn back to me, connect to me, Hashem. Don't connect to their personality. Ignore them as a person. The gavra, ignore. The chefts of the Torah, the content, you take that from them. Rav Chanina Amar Mihacha. We have another source for this. Shimi bas rehi v'hati oznech v'shichi amech v'beis avich. So listen, internalize the Torah, but disregard the amech, the people, the person. Now, how does this fit with the other pasuk? The Rebbe has to be like a malach. Koshu kroya adad. You have a stirrer between the pasuk. Like Kasha, the answer is like this. Depends who the Talmud is, on what level he stands. Habe gadol. He's a great man who could discern, who could differentiate, who can garner the good stuff and leave the bad alone. Like Rabbi Meir was able to extract the content without being influenced by the person. Go ahead. Habe cotton. But typically, an ordinary Talmud who doesn't have that ability, keep far away. Rav Dimi came from Eretz Yisrael. Amar, he related as follows. Amri b'marav in Eretz Yisrael, they described this whole relationship between Rav Meir and Achar as follows. Rav Meir ochal tachal, like a date. You take the skin, the fruit material. He ate the fruit material of the date. V'shada shichla lebar, and he tossed the pit out. So Rav Meir extracted the good content and ignored the rest. Darash Rava, what does the pasuk mean when it says Al ginas egois yiranti, lirois bibi anocha? This is relating to a Talmud Chacham and Torah. Lama nimshlu Talmud Chacham leegois. Why is a Talmud Chacham compared to a nut, a walnut, covered with a thick shell? Leimlach to tell you like this: Ma egois zeh, just like this nut. Aval bisha meluchlach betitu b'tzay. It's wallowing in dirt. The fruit, the nut, remains clean and unaffected. It's protected by its hard shell. In masha b'toicha nimas, the content doesn't get dirty. Av Talmud Chacham, sending the Talmud Chacham, he's protected with his Torah. Afal bisha sarach, even if he strays like Achar, ein teirasim eses. The Torah itself doesn't get affected. The Torah remains pure and unaffected by the person. Ashkechei rababash, so it's like the nut, because the averis are the klipa, right? They block out the rays of the Torah, they darken things. but the content, the Torah, remains unaffected. Ashkechei Rabba bar Shila Eliyahu. So Rabba encounters Eliyahu Hanavi. Amrle, he tells Eliyahu, Micah Aved HaKadosh Baruch Hu, can you tell me what's going on in Shemai? What's Hashem doing right now? Amrle, Eliyahu tells him, you know what? Hashem is learning the Torah that we learn down here. He's actually quoting you. He's relating Torah in your name. Ka'amar Shmaita, he's learning the halachos mipumayu de kulu rabbanim, quoting all the chachamim. Umipumayu de Rab Meir like Amar, but never quoting Rab Meir. Amar Leis, he tells him, Amai, why? What's wrong with Rab Meir? Mishum de Ka'gamar Shmata mipumayu, because he learned from Achar. Hashem keeps away from his Torah. Amar Lei. So Rabbi Rashila tells Eliyahu, Amai, what's wrong with that? And now he was advocating for Rab Meir. Rab Meir, Rimayin Matzah, he encountered a pomegranate. The mashal. He ate the content and threw away the shell. So what's wrong with what he did? Amar Leiser, Eliyahu Nabi tells him, because of your advocacy, Hashem now turned to Rab Meir's Torah as well. Hashtag Amar, right now he's saying is something named Rab Meir. Meir b'ni Omer, my son Meir, Rab Meir says as follows. This is contained in the Mishnah in Sanhedrin, where they apply the Misa, the death penalty, to a Rasha, and the Mishnah says, the name of Rab Meir, you should know that Hashem is distressed when a sinner gets punished. Bizman she'adam mitzar, a person is in distress. Shchina my lashon hameres. What language does the Shechina say? Kalani miroishi, kalani mizroi. It's like a mashal. A person has a headache, a person's arm hurts. He says, I am light from my head, meaning my head is heavy on me. Kalani mizroi, I'm light from my arm, it's heavy on me. It's a lashon of tsar and distress. Hashem is distressed when a yid is in pain. Im kach HaKadosh Baruch Hu mitzar. Al daman shel rishayim shenishbach. Hashem expresses this distressful expression on occasion of the dam of a Rasha. Right? It's being that a Rasha was killed. Certainly when a tzaddik suffers, Hashem expresses the same. Says the Gemara, Ashkecheli Shmuel, Rabbi Yehuda. Shmuel sees Rabbi Yehuda, the Tali Be'ibra Dadash. He was leaning on the doorpost. He used to stand by the doorpost and get some fresh air and contemplate deep things. So he was standing there because Kabachi, and he was actually crying. Amar Lei, so Shmuel turns to Rabbi Yehuda, I think it was his son. Amar Shmuel Shinna, the sharp one. That's what he called him, sharp one. My Kabachas, what's the occasion? What's going on? Why are you crying? Amar Lei, he tells him, I'm very sad. What happened to all those Chamid Chachamim who invested so much of their lifetime to toil in words of Torah, and they strayed and they went off the derech? Mizruchu Ma'idechsibu Rabban. Doesn't it have value? The pasuk it describes the Chachamim like this. Is it a small thing? What it says, the pasuk Ayei Sefer, describing the Chachamim who strayed, Talmidim who learned and then strayed from the proper path. Ayei Sefer, where's the Sefer? What happened to him? Ayei Shekel. Ayei Sefer Samagdalim, which means like this. Ayei Sefer, what happened to the Sefer? She Sefer Kol Ois Shabbat the Milchamu were such experts, they would count all the letters in the Torah. Ayei Shekel, what happened to them? She Shekel in Kalim v'Chamur Shabbat Torah, they would be involved in Kal v'Chomers in the Torah. Ayei Sefer Samagdalim, those who used to count the Magdalim, pertaining to certain halachas of Tumah v'Tahara. So Yishoinin Gimel Meis halachas Migdal Perech Ba'aver. It's a specific topic, and always a migdal, like a cupboard, a closet out in the sky, under the sky. So they were so engaged in these halachas, 300 aspects and details of this halacha. They were so immersed in Torah. What happened to them? What happened to them? V'amar b'ami Talas meya boy Bo doig v'chetefel. Doig v'chetefel were two individuals who were great Talmidei Chacham at the time of David HaMelech, and they lost their chelik al haba. They were engaged in 300 sugyas, 300 queries and discussions regarding the halachos of Migdal HaPerech Ba'aver. And look what happened to them. But Tanan, the Mishnah Sanhedrin says, typically, everyone, Kol Yisrael, yesh lam chelik al haba, except for some individuals that don't. They lost their chelik. Gimel Malachim, 3 kings, 3 Jewish kings, v'arba idiotis, and 4 ordinary people. Rashi brings the 4 Bilam, v'doyeg, v'chetefel v'gechase. Ein lahem chelik al haba. Despite their efforts, despite their learning, they went off. The Torah didn't protect him, did not ensure eternal success. So if that's what happened to them, what's going to happen to us? Anan mata haviyalan. How are we protected? What's going to ensure that we are eternally successful? So Rabbi Yehuda responded. This was his response to Shmuel. This is why I'm crying. Omar Leis, so Shmuel tells you, look, it is a sad chapter, but I want to tell you something. Put it in perspective. Shinana, once again, sharp one, he called him. It didn't just happen overnight. Tina hoisa belibam. Rashi learns, Risham hoyumimim. This was a pre-existing condition. It didn't just happen at once. It was a slow process, a slow build-up. Slowly, they strayed from the proper path, and they ended up where they ended up. Acher mai. What happened to Acher? What facilitated his leaving the path? It wasn't just that one incident when he went up to Shemayim and he misapplied. There was a history there. His heart was already offline for a while, and that took away his clarity and skewed his perspective when he came to Shemayim and he came to that chet. What happened? Zemer, listen to this. Zemer Yevani, Greek songs, like Pasak Mipumim, he wouldn't stop singing Greek songs. Can you imagine? Just the songs that he was singing influenced him, threw him off. People think a song just makes levity. No, a song is really an expression. It's an emotional expression, a very deep expression of the fellow who's composing it. At that moment, whatever he feels, that's expressed in his song, and that's what you're re-experiencing. So if it's a song expressed by some Greek fellow, you know what he wants, you know what's going on in his mind, his heart, and all his desires are expressed in his tune, in this melody, which is really very deep, beyond what words can express. It's the language of his nefesh. And by singing those songs, you are connecting, you are identifying and relating with those desires and internalizing those feelings. It's a tremendous impact on a person without realizing it. In a subconscious level, it could just throw the person off slowly but surely. And once his heart's not online, once his heart's off, that affects the whole person, his intellect and his way of understanding things. The heart leads the person. On a good note, you have the nigun of a tzaddik, which is a firm, deep expression of what a tzaddik desires. Avas Hashem, dveikas b'Torah. Singing that brings to inspiration, allows you to re-experience those same emotions expressed by the tzaddik at that moment of inspiration. So there's a history here. It didn't just happen at once. So be careful to keep your. He was telling him, be careful. Rabbi Yehuda, be careful to keep your heart in line, in which case you'll be safe. Amar Olav al Acher. In fact, the following was said regarding Acher. Even when he was in the Beis Medrash, he was busy with other things. When he used to get up from his seat in the Beis Medrash, harbe sifrei minin, many inappropriate books. Sifrei minin, which negate our emunah. Noishun mecheke would just come sliding off his lap. He was always busy reading these books, and that had profound influence on him. And eventually, he totally strayed. Even his Torah couldn't keep him in line. Shal Nimois Hagardi. Nimois, the weaver, asked Esrame, Kol Amar de Nachas Liyer Solok. This was his profession. He was a weaver. He was involved in material. I want to ask you a question, Rame. All wool, Kol Amar, the Nachas Liyer, which goes down to the dyeing vat. Solok comes up properly dyed, meaning what he meant to say is like this: all Talmidim engaged in Torah, Lefnei the Chachamim. Is the Torah going to protect them? Are they going to have successful eternity? Rameir tells him, I'll tell you the truth. It's up to the person. It depends case by case. It depends what baggage he's bringing in to the Beis HaMedrash. Back to the wool, he says, all wool which was clean, agavime, taken off its mother, basically when it was sheared, it was clean and free of impurities. Solok. The dyeing process will be successful. But if it was full of impurities, it won't be successful. Says Rashi, it's based on a Mishnah in Pirkei Avos. If it's Chachma, it's not the starting point. It's after much preparation, Yiras Hashem, the emotions will purify, the heart is open to Torah and Chachma, then the Chachma has where to go. But these individuals, these people were, their emotions were already skewed. They were not prepared for the proper Torah experience, and therefore the Torah was not absorbed properly and did not keep them on the right path. Okay, back to that whole story with the Pardes involving Ben Zoma and Acher and Rabbi Kiva. He was the only one who had a successful journey. Rabbi Kiva, Ola B'Shalom, V'Yar B'Shalom, he acquired all the madregas of Chachma, and he was not affected in any way. V'Ola V'Chas V'Omer, the pasuk on him says, Mashcheni Achrecha Narutza, come after me. Hashem, bring me, pull me to you. I want to enjoy your presence. And the truth is, V'Afar Rabbi Kiva, Bikshu Malachi Asher Doichve, when Rabbi Kiva was in Shemaim, the Malach Asher wanted to push him away. Omer HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Baruch Hu tells him, Henichu L'Zakin Zeh, Sheroi L'Shtamish B'Chvoidi, leave him alone. He's fit for the experience. He's worthy of this experience. My Dorish, now, how was Rabbi Kiva spared? How was he successful in his journey? Rashi learns, let's read Rashi on top. My Dorash, Meichan Haven Mokim HaShchina. How did he know to keep away from the Shechina? Shenitzer Shlei Hitzis Sham, so as not to look there. Inami Shlei To K'mo Sheto Acher. How did he know to keep his eyes in the right place, so to speak, and not make that same mistake that the Acher made? How did he know to keep his perspective in line? Omar Rabba Barachana Rabbi Yechanan, because he had a pasuk. V'asa Miruvos Kodesh. So Hashem is described as Asa, and V'asa can be learned like Ois, a sign. Oisu b'Revava Shalai. Hashem's Metzias, the Shechina is something unique. You can tell where the Shechina is, and you keep away. Revavo Amar, a different pasuk, Dogel Mirevava. We darshan Dugma hu b'Revava Shalai. Amongst the multitudes of Malachim, Hashem is a Dugma. He's unique. You know that you don't look in that direction. So you can discern the Shechina from the other Malachim, and you keep away. So Tzvaka Shmai means he's an Adain, he's above, he's a master, and you know the Tzava, and you keep away from the Adain. For Rabbi Yehuda, he had a different formula to follow. Loi B'ruach Hashem. Pasuk says, Hashem's presence is not experienced with ruach, with fanfare, with storms. V'acha haruach rash, after the storm, after the wind, there was tumult. No. Loi b'rash Hashem, Hashem is not there. V'acha rash eish, afterwards comes fire. Loi b'eish Hashem, that's just the malach, this is entourage. Hashem himself is not amongst these things. V'acha ha'eish kod mamadaka, after the fire, it's just a kod mamadaka, very sweet, a low, subtle sound. V'ini Hashem over, that indicates the presence of Hashem. So he knew where to look. He knew where things are quiet. That's where Hashem is, and he kept himself, and he had a successful trip. Okay, so a brief chazar of today's daf. We had the story of Rishon ben Chananya with Ben Zoma. He was contemplating Maaseh Merkava, and Rishon says actually he's a bit off as well, and he explained his mistake. We had the story with Acher, who really had a very failed experience in Shemayim, and he misapplied what he saw, and he went out L'Tabras Ra. We had the story with Reb Meir. He tried to bring him back, and then he took him to the shuls, and he felt rejected. He felt he was unwanted, and he died. Eventually, Reb Meir took him to Gehenna, and Rabbi Yechon took him out of Gehenna. We had the story with Rebbe, who took care of Acher's daughter. Hashem sent a message: be careful. Acher, yeah, but his Torah is still intact. We explained what Reb Meir took the liberty to learn from Acher because he wasn't unaffected by the person. He was able to do that. We learned that even a Talmud Chacham Shesorach, his Torah remains Torah. It's not Nimas. And we had the conclusion of the Gemara that these things don't just happen overnight. There's a history to it, and one has to ensure that his emotions, his heart, are properly aligned, which ensures that his Torah is properly absorbed and successful. Concluded with how Rabbi Kiva was spared from the experience experienced by others, he knew what to focus on. He kept proper perspective. He was Ola B'Shalom, V'Yared B'Shalom. Hatzlacha Rabbah to you, and all the best.